watch very carefully. It's very important that you watch every part.
Then crawl. You're sliding. Why would you? You're gonna hurt yourself. Oh my God. She's waiting, Johnny.
This lady hilariously struggles to get to her front door because of ice. We feel sorry for your struggle, miss. This guy challenges himself to climb up an icy road.
Look, just come back to me. He wants to slide down, and here. Man, I'm tired just watching you.
Of course, he must regret about it. This is what happens when you try parking on an icy boat.
So that was just a bit of fun. But, you know what? Those people were trying to walk on the ice. But they weren't really ready to walk on the ice. Because I don't know if you look very closely, maybe you couldn't really see it, but they weren't wearing like boots. No, it just seemed to be like wearing ordinary shoes. They weren't ready for the life of the ice. But listen, did anybody come here to church this morning forget to wear their shoes? No. Everybody has shoes on. What would happen if you came here this morning in your bare feet? What would happen? You might get sore. You might stand on a stone and it might hurt your foot. And if you came in your socks, well, sometimes your socks are even more dangerous than just bare feet. Because in my house, I've got wooden stairs, and Gordon will tell you, Foxanna was here to tell you too. And one thing in my house is, I said, do not come down the stairs in your socks. Bare feet are better, slippers or shoes are even better again, but your socks is actually the worst, because they're slipping on the wooden floor, on the wooden stairs. So, we got to wear something on our feet for protection. Now, I need a volunteer to come up and help me. And I want a volunteer who doesn't normally come up. Why don't you come up? Come on, you can do it. It's really easy. That's what I want to do. I've got a box of things here. And I want you to pick anything out of that box and give it to me. Pick anything at all. Reach in and pick anything. You're going to pick them all eventually. So what are we going to start with? Right, we're going to start with this one. Does anybody know what this is?
Water shoe.
Yeah. It's a shoe that you wear if you're going swimming or if you're doing something in the water when it's cold. So it's made of the same kind of stuff as a wetsuit. So this kind of shoe protects you against the cold water. Okay, do you want to pick something else? Anything? Go for it. There we go. This time we've got a football boot. Okay, now a football boot, on the top it might just look like an ordinary pair of trainers, but on the bottom it doesn't. It looks a little bit different. Denzel, you know the answer to this. Why does it have these extra bits? So it won't slip. So if you're going out to play football and it's been a nice week, the grass is lovely, beautiful, and then just before you start to play, a shower of rain. What happens then? It gets really, really slippy. So these little things, although they're really tiny, but they're there to help you not to slip. They will give you grip when the grass has become slippy. Okay, Rory, next. What are you going to choose next? Come on. There we go. This is my hiking boot, okay? So if I was just going to go shopping, I would need to wear these. Now, some of them past, maybe I would, but anyway, I would need to wear these in Tesco because it's nice smooth ground and I can just walk in with whatever shoes I pull out of my wardrobe. But the bottom of these have also got good grips, maybe not quite as good as the football boots, but they've got grips. But they come up a little back and higher, so they come up under my ankle. So if I'm walking across rough ground, stony ground, rocky ground, These are going to support me, and they also have to help me not to maybe twist my ankle. So these are more protection for me if I'm going hiking. Right, Maury, what are we going to have next? This one, okay. Here's what this is. You know, a sandal, flip-flop. I call these flip-flops, okay? But yeah, a sandal is right too. So these don't look like they give you very much protection at all, do they? They look like they might fall off your feet. But have you ever been, maybe on holiday, and this happened to me, and I was on holiday somewhere, and I was enjoying myself, lying on a lounger beside the pool, and I got so hot, I thought, I just need to get into that pool. And I stood up and I went to go to the pool, and my feet were getting burnt, and I couldn't walk over the ground because it was too hot. So then I wore my flip-flops. Okay? So they protected me because the ground was too hot. So again, they might look like they don't protect you, but actually they did. So what else have we got? Do you know what that is? Does anybody know what this is? I don't actually know what the name of it is here, right, Gary? In ours we call it ice grips, okay? So you put these on over the shoes that you've already got, and this little bit at the bottom, that will give you protection on the ice. So those people in our video spot, if they had added those onto the bottom of their shoes, they would have helped them not to slip on the ice. So that gives them protection. My mother-in-law will not go out of the house in the winter unless she's got these added to her shoes. One last thing. We've got this. Everybody knows what one of these is. So maybe you can sit down again, Marty. Thank you very much. Okay, you know, Erin, what is this? A welly boot. A welly boot. Okay, so this will give you protection if you're walking somewhere that's wet or muddy. But yeah, I'm going to tell you a story. One time, Gordon was walking down one of our fields, and it was really, really muddy. And he had on his wellies, so he was prepared for the mud. The only thing is, the welly boot went deep into the mud, and he took his next step. He walked like this, but the welly boot said stuck in the mud. So it did not happen yet. So welly boots will protect you from the mud as long as they're on your feet. If they're not on your feet, they won't protect you from the mud. So, protection. All these things, all these different things that Maury picked out of my box, they will give you protection in all different kinds of conditions. Protection. We have been thinking about protection over the last few weeks. We've been thinking about the protection that God has for us when we use the armour that He has provided for us. The armour of God. That's what we've been learning about. Now, I need another volunteer to come up, because we're going to have a little recap with all the bits of the armour that we've been using. Who wants to come and be my model today? Do you want to come back? More, come on, you don't come on very often, have you? Okay, so we've got the armour of God. We've got a picture of it on the screen here. Can I ask you to take your jacket off? You can put it on your seat next to back. Perfect. So the first piece of the armour of God was the belt of truth. Okay, I want to hear your answers. Because you know how whenever I do a series at the end we have a quiz. So this is your revision. Okay? So, first of all we have the belt of truth. Where does the belt of truth go? In the middle. And as well as in the middle it goes. Oh, see, you're all ready to all be listening, and Maury is a brilliant model. And remember that day we said it's important to know the truth. I like to call it the red balloon truth. You remember? It's red. No matter what you want to call it, no matter what you think it might be, no matter what you learnt it was, it's still red. Even if it says blue, it's still red. That is the truth. And the truth that we're thinking about is the truth where God says, and Jesus said, I am the truth. There's only one truth. I am the truth. And then last week we moved on to, now I'll be impressed if you remember, and I think I did hear Denzel. Now, big loud voice, Denzel, what is this? The breastplate of righteousness. So here, more put your arms in there. There we go. Now you're protected. Now your heart is protected as well. breastplate of righteousness. And we said, turn around so everyone can see you. You should do a great job. There you go. Righteousness. We learned last week, it's all about knowing right, doing the right thing. Once you know the truth, once you have that belt of truth, you know the truth, then you can measure right and wrong. And God wants us to do right things and make right choices. But we have an enemy. That's why we have our armour. Who is our enemy? The devil. The devil tries to trick us. He tries to tell us lies. He tries to make us do wrong things, make bad choices. And we said last week that even if he can't get you to do something wrong, he will even settle for getting you to do the right thing, but for the wrong reasons. Do you remember? I told you about my dog. My dog knows how to do right things. My dog knows how to sit when I tell her. She doesn't always do it, but she will do it if she thinks I'm starting to get cross. And she will do it if I give her a treat. If I have a treat in my hand, she'll sit as soon as I tell her. So my dog knows how to do the right thing. But I can tell you, dog, now, my dog is not righteous. There's a difference between right and righteous. And the difference is righteousness means doing the right thing, being right in the sight of God. God who can see into our hearts and knows our motives, knows why we're doing those things. So that's our recap. So now we're going to move on to the next piece of the armour of God. Now, it's got a long name. I'm going to read it out. The Bible says in Ephesians chapter 6, it says that we need to have our feet fitted with the preparation of the gospel of peace. The preparation of the gospel of peace. Now, we're going to break that down so that you can understand what it all means. So, we've got it up on the screen here. Gordon, I'm going to get you to come and help me with this. Now, I'm not going to ask you to take your shoes off. Because I don't want to, do you have many feet? Today we're not going to find out, but we're going to put these extra bits on instead, okay? So, let's stand here and put these on. So, this is all for your protection if you were out as a soldier. And we'll just put them on as quickly as we can so that we can move on here. We'll just do one, I think. There we go. There we go, that's good enough. So that's going to protect your shoes and protect your feet. And you've got those bits on to protect your ankles, the bottom part of your legs. Now, we are only halfway through our armour, so we're not fully kitted up with all of our armour yet. But now we're starting to look a bit more like a soldier ready for battle. If you were a soldier going out into battle, how do you think you would feel? Would you feel frightened? Would you feel worried? Would you feel anxious? I know I would. I would feel worried. I'd feel afraid. Now, if I had my armour on, maybe I'd feel a little bit less afraid. But I know me, and I know that I would be afraid. And you know what? God knows that that is something that the devil will also try to do to you. That is one of the things that the devil will try to trick you with. You see, things like worry, fear, anxiety, depression, feeling sad, you can't touch any of those things. They're all inside your head. They're all inside your head. And sometimes, I'm going to tell you the truth, sometimes in my head it starts off like this. I'm a bit worried, a little bit anxious. I'm worried, I'm anxious, worried, fear, anxious, worried, fear, anxious, worried, fear, anxious. And that's what's going on inside my head. Now, you might not have ever felt like that before. But maybe you've had to move school. Maybe you've had to move house. Maybe there's somebody in your school who's being nasty to you. Maybe you've got all your exams in 1 week. So there are times when you will maybe feel that worry, fear, anxious. And I know I'm doing that. And it does in my head go on, if you agree with me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Sometimes in my head, I go, worry, fear, anxious, and that's what we think about. Do you know what God says? Be still and know that I am God. This week, I had to tell 3 people that. One of them was big. Be still and know that I am God. Our job is to be still. His job is to be God. I can't be God. I will never be God. But I can try to be still. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. For that, I'm going to let you sit down again, okay? No, just finish off with what we're talking about here. Do you want to take off the golden shoes? Do you think we can do that? There you go. Thank you very much. Good job. Now, so be still and know that I am God. I'm not saying that that's always going to be easy. It's not always going to be easy because the devil will throw all those things at us, all those things that get into our head. But when we're focusing on those things, we can't actually do what the things that we're meant to do. And it takes over our whole thinking. But like I said, our goal is to be still and know that I'm God. And to know that is to ask God, ask Him to help us be still. You know, when Jesus was here on earth, He was talking to His disciples and He was telling them that I am going to be going away. I am going up to heaven. And Jesus knew that His disciples would then feel confused, anxious, worried. And you know what He said? He said, I'm going to leave you my peace. I'm going to give you my peace. And that is how we use the preparation. We're prepared, we get ready. You know, if you go out and buy a pair of shoes, they're a pair of ways, and they come in a lovely box. So you have that protection. But if you keep them in the box and you don't put them on, are they going to be able to protect you? No. They're no good to you in the box. You need to put them on. And to do that, we need to ask God to help us and to give us His peace. We don't have peace ourselves very often. We need His peace, and that's how you prepare. The gospel is just the good news. Gospel just means good news. And today we're thinking of the good news of peace, the peace of God. One last thought, maybe it's more for adults and kids, but everybody. When we think of the word gospel, we often think of sharing the good news. Who can we tell? It's all about sharing the good news of God and His love and His peace, all of those things we want to tell our friends, we want to tell our neighbours, we want to tell everyone around us. But you know what? This armour that we're talking about is what God has given to you, and you, and you. Armour is no good if it's on someone else. God has given it to you. God has given His peace to you. My peace I leave with you. My peace I leave with you. And you. And you. Not for anybody else. Just you. Be still and know that I am. Now, we're going to sing. It's not a very big song, so we're all going to get up and do. Now, the last 2 weeks we've been doing the introductory song, and we're going to do that again. If you weren't here last week, you didn't hear the second verse. That's not hard, just come, we're going to do the 2 verses together. And this time, I don't want to have to stop in the middle and say, I can't hear you. I want to hear you from the start. On your feet. Anybody who wants to get up and get on your feet.
Right. And Paul will do the 2 verses, so I'm going to do the first verse and the second verse.
Yeah.
I may never watch the infantry die in Galilee, shoot the artillery. I may never lose the enemy, ride in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I may never watch the infantry ride in the Galilee, shoot the artillery. I may never lose the enemy, ride in the Lord's army. Yes, sir!
Okay, we're going to stand like Superman.
I may never fly like Superman, fly like Spider-Man, dance like an Aquaman, get me out of those dreams, some kind of guy, but I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I'm in the Lord's army. Yes, sir! I may never fly like Superman.
Now, you can see this morning there's a few differences. I know we have a couple of families away because it's a bank holiday.